Hello! My name is Daniel Francis, and this is my best friend, my girlfriend, and my co-host.
Katie Ludlow, and I am a Swiftie.
And I am not, and this is...
Our songs.
Our films.
Each week, we watch and rate a different Taylor Swift music video.
And try to objectively judge something that is inherently and deeply subjective.
Except for this week, we'll be talking about the second half of the Eras Tour. Last week, we talked about the first half. So
first half or so.
Go listen to that if you haven't already.
As well as our journey to Vegas.
Which was a wild one.
Yeah. I'm going to jump in here with some special credits and trivia.
Daniel has spent all day compiling all these facts for us about the Eras Tour, and I'm so excited.
Don't give me too much praise, because I am not a researcher and I am not a journalist. I know how to Google and I have Wikipedia. So
and isn't that our main source on this podcast?
So I'll say, unless I source a bit of information specifically, it's likely that I ripped it right off of Wikipedia. So y'all can go see the Eras Tour Wikipedia page and read it for yourself if you really, really want to. You can skip this part. All right, so on November 1st of 2022, Taylor announced the name for the Eras Tour. She had been hinting oh, I might be coming back. She had actually delayed or canceled Loverfest, which was going to be her tour for Lover.
Which was devastating.
Because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So again, November 1st, she announced the name for the Eras Tour, and she gave dates and locations for each concert. Now, I'm sure you know, it was originally going to only have 27 concerts across 20 cities.
Mm-hmm. That was quickly changed.
Across 20 cities in the United States, but the masses were not satisfied. So 3 days later, on November 4th, 8 more dates were added, bringing it to 35. But the masses were still not satisfied.
I think it was more the demand seemed to be too big.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was still not enough. Anyway, so a whopping 17 more dates were added a week later, bringing the total to 52 concerts, which is
insane.
Well, yeah, it's insane for most concerts, but the big ones, as I was researching this, there's concerts that last 200 or tours that last 200 concerts and whatnot. Ed Sheeran did his Divide concert.
I love Ed
for
Sheeran.
2 years straight. I think his concerts he had 288 dates or something like that.
Wow.
Around that number.
Good for him.
So, to give context, her last tour, Taylor's last tour, Reputation, only had 38 concerts. And that doesn't even include international dates for the Eras Tour, which aren't even announced yet.
Was that counting the international Reputation tours? Or is that just US?
I don't recall. I can find out. Reputation, I found on Wikipedia that it concluded on November 21st, 2018 in Tokyo, and it consisted of 53 shows. So she is doing as many shows in the U.S. alone as she did for the entire tour of Reputation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
For those of you who weren't there that day in the trenches waiting for Ticketmaster to give them a chance, you should count yourself lucky. I actually have brought in a veteran who was there on that day. Katie,
a veteran.
What was it like?
Oh, it was awful. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, so basically, do you want the rundown?
Just a quick rundown.
Well, first of all, they were going to start the sale on the 15th. So you had to register as a verified fan. And
that was a measure to try to keep scammers or scalpers.
But it was a stupid system. They didn't do anything to verify that you were actually a fan. You just had to sign up. But I got waitlisted because there were too many.
Of course.
And so I didn't get the codes. So the first day, I couldn't have got on if I wanted to, but the site crashed. So they pushed it to the next day, which was just for Capital One card holders.
And I want to jump in. At the end of that first day, even with the site crashing, they sold 2.4 million tickets.
Insane.
Which broke Ticketmaster's record on most concert tickets sold by an artist in a single day.
That's crazy. Yeah, so they pushed they pushed the sale to the next day. The Capital One pre-sale was supposed to be that day, and they said it's going to be the verified ticket or the verified fan sale until like 3 p.m. and then Capital One will be added to that. So it wasn't just verified fan and then Capital One. It was all together. And so I got on an hour before my time. And so as soon as the time started, I was logged in and I waited in line for an hour. And then when I got into like the actual, like, here's our tickets, it showed me 4 tickets and it said, this is what we have.
Oh.
And so I just clicked on the first 2 I saw and clicked buy, and it loaded for 11 minutes.
Wow.
And then said, sorry, someone got to these before you. And then it did it again, but this time it was 4 new tickets. They were only releasing a couple at a time. And so I did that, I think, 8 times, where I would click on tickets and immediately click buy without even looking at the price. And at that point, they were like $800 a piece. Yeah. And immediately I would click buy, and I would sit for somewhere between 4 to 11 minutes. And then it would say, sorry, these don't exist.
Yeah, and how many times did that happen?
Probably 8.
Oh,
and then
that's awful.
And then finally it came back to, because each time it would take me back to the picture of the arena, and it would say, these are the seats available. And it took me back to the arena, and it was all gray, and it said, sorry, there are no tickets at this time. And I just started to bawl, and I was devastated. It was an awful, awful day.
Yeah.
I was also on my period, so that didn't help.
Yeah. To be teased with the promise of getting a ticket. And
it was stupid because they didn't verify actual fans. They just kind of opened it up to whoever
had an email address.
Yeah, and they claimed that they were gonna give verified fans to people with Loverfest tickets first, and then people who had bought merch second, which was me.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it, but people who weren't those people got it, and then
I understand giving it to Loverfest tickets first because they
oh, absolutely. And I'm not too salty about, like, I didn't get it because I bought merch, because some people can't afford merch. Some people were saving money knowing she would go on tour. Yeah. And so I'm not upset about that, but just the system was messed up is more my point. Luckily, Daniel was my superhero that day, and I called him and I just said, I didn't get it. And he came and he brought me chocolate and he took me shopping, and
we skipped rehearsal
for the show that we were in that night.
Yeah. One more thing about controversy. In December of 2022, so a month after tickets were released, it was released to the public that FTX, the bankrupt company that used to run one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, had been in conversation with Taylor for the Eras Tour, offering $100 million in sponsorship and a partnership to turn each ticket, or maybe specific tickets, into NFTs.
I don't know what that is.
NFTs stands for non-fungible tokens. I don't entirely understand what's significant about them, but it's a way to quote unquote own something on the internet.
Okay.
I don't know all the science behind them, but they use a lot of computer processing, like an astronomical amount of computer processing to create and maintain, and so it's actually actively harmful to the planet.
Oof.
Anyways, FTX imploded into bankruptcy in November on the 11th, 5 or so days before tickets went on for pre-sale. Taylor declined the deal, and I'd be interested to live in a universe where she accepted it, and both of these controversies, Ticketmaster and FTX,
just went up in
flames all around Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour, and I wonder what would have happened.
She probably would have gotten a lot more backlash.
Maybe.
Because she accepted that deal.
Some things that are not controversies.
Okay.
Taylor already holds the female record for highest grossing tour in the U.S. with $266 million from her Reputation tour with 38 dates in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And is certain to break it again, if she hasn't already, with Eras. There are a couple other records she could potentially break as well. What with her 5 nights at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, which are all sold out, by the way, completely. She could break the record for highest box score at a single venue in the U.S. Either specifically at SoFi Stadium, like their personal like record, she could break their record held by BTS at $33.3 million, raised for their, I think, 3 days.
Wow.
At SoFi. Or, potentially, the all-time record of $38.7 million, which is not that much more, held by Bruce Springsteen from his 10 nights at the Giant Stadium way back in 2003. But the record for highest grossing international tour could be difficult to break. This is what I was mentioning earlier. The current holder for that record, the thing I was reading said it was Ed Sheeran with his Divide tour, but then I went to look at like highest grossing tours, and it was not.
He's
Ed
not
Sheeran.
even on it.
Well, he's number 3.
Oh, okay.
I think that's somewhere around 3. Taylor Swift was number 20 with Reputation. If that gives you an idea. I don't know. Reputation was huge or something. I don't know. I mean, to be 20 on highest grossing.
I don't remember very much about that.
Anywho, the current holder for that record of highest grossing international tour is either, depending on which way you look at it, Elton John with $817 million and counting, because he's still not finished yet. He'll finish in June or July.
Tour?
He's still on tour.
Okay.
It's like his last
Hurrah.
tour.
Yeah.
His last hurrah. And he'll finish in June or July in the summer. But he's made $817 million so far, grossing. Or U2, if you account for inflation, with $887 million. But according to Billboard, in an article written in December of 2022, ticket sales for Eras will generate a gross revenue of about $591 million. But that's with the average ticket price being $215.
Whoa! Who's getting the Taylor Swift ticket for $215?
Yeah, I wrote.
Yeah, I paid a down payment of $230.
Yeah, yeah, it's a hell of a steal. That's not the average. So that was in December. The cheapest. I don't know where they got that number. I don't know.
I have no idea.
The cheapest tickets. Maybe that was like actual like revenue for Taylor Swift.
Maybe
From the.
I don't know.
I don't know. The cheapest tickets started around $350.
The cheapest one
before Ticketmaster's fees.
Yeah. The cheapest one I saw the entire time I was searching was $388, and it was behind the stage.
Yeah. Also, Ticketmaster's fees are atrocious, and Ticketmaster is a monopoly and needs to be broken up. If you are unaware of how much of a cancer Ticketmaster is to the live music and entertainment industry, I suggest you go watch John Oliver's piece on it. He did an entire episode on Ticketmaster. But BuzzFeed guessed that the average price for tickets is closer to $700.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, and some of these tickets are reaching nearly $9,000 on resale websites like StubHub.
Holy shit.
Yeah, CBS News reported that some tickets were being listed for $22,500 each.
Ridiculous.
But I didn't actually find evidence of this. They basically said on their article, someone on the internet said this.
It may have been right when Ticketmaster crashed and all the tickets were gone and people were frantic and they were willing to pay any price.
But I'm not willing to pay. I'm not gonna take out a car loan to buy a ticket to Taylor Swift.
I knew that there would be people that were like, "Oh wait, I can't go. Oh wait, I bought too many," and that they'd be trying to sell. So I waited it out, and I think a lot of people had the same idea. But there were also a lot of people who started just giving away their life savings for this.
It's not worth it. But Polestar,
or is it?
Well, I gave it a solid 10. I would not pay more than $400 to go.
Well, I did.
We did. So. Polestar projected that the Eras tour is likely to gross $728 million from the U.S. alone. And up to, and I quote, a mind-boggling $1 billion internationally. And I really like this quote from their article. To put it another way, if Taylor Swift was a country and its economy was solely based on ticket sales, it would be the 199th largest economy on Earth, equivalent to a small Caribbean nation.
It's insane.
Now, admittedly, there's only 216 nations on the list for gross domestic product on Wikipedia, but being compared to a sovereign state at all is a phenomenal feat. So,
Oh, yeah.
But all these numbers are completely conjecture and projection. We won't know the actual totals until probably a couple months after curtain falls for the last time on the Eras tour. Costume design. This is a little bit of just credits. The costumes and props for Taylor and the other dancers were made by a lengthy list of big names in fashion. And here are some of those names. And the work that went into these costumes. These I found on Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. You know that gown that she came out for Speak Now in? Well, that single dress took over 350 hours of hand work at Murad. These are all fancy fashion labels, so I probably have their names wrong, or can't say their names right. And the bodysuit she wore for Midnights,
which, by the way, she's worn at
Multiples.
least 2, if not 3 of those.
I don't know if it's for. It was listed as singular, so on Wikipedia, the bodysuit. So I don't know if it's just one or if this is accounting for both of them. Okay. But maybe one, probably two, I don't know, had more than 5,300 beads and crystals put on the dress by hand at Oscar de la Renta. So, yeah, costumes. And there are plenty of other huge names that are involved in the tour. The last thing I want to get into is just a couple tributes that have already happened to Taylor Swift. In Glendale, Arizona, where she opened, they temporarily changed the name of that city during her stop there to Swift City, which is, I think, relatively commonly known. I heard about that before I went to the show. And then Las Vegas displayed light shows inspired by her palettes from the Eras down Las Vegas Boulevard, which is cool. Not as impressive as the next one. Arlington, Texas renamed the road in front of the stadium to Taylor Swift Way for the weekend she was there, even going so far as to replace the road signs.
Wow.
Which any city replacing road signs is huge.
Unheard of.
But they also gave her a key to the city, and the Arlington Museum of Art announced that it will host an exhibit completely focused on Taylor Swift's career, and that exhibit will run from June 2nd to September 24th of this year.
Hey, baby.
You want to go to Arlington?
Let's go to Arlington.
And then in Tampa, Florida, Taylor got another key to the city, and the mayor invited Taylor to be the city's honorary mayor for the day.
Wow. Mayor... Dr. Mayor Taylor Allison
Swift. They'll also be lighting their downtown bridges in red. And I'm sure this list is only going to grow.
Is mayor like a lifelong term? Like
No.
Or not term, sorry. A lifelong, like, title. Like
no, I don't think so. Also, I looked up... I found how they do the wristbands.
How?
So it's a technology called Pixmob, Pixmob, because it's pixels from the mob of people. The wristbands we got at the gate use a technology called Pixmob, made by the Montreal-based company Esky Incorporated. The basic premise of the tech is that there are infrared projectors that shine infrared light onto the crowd, and depending on what quote-unquote color of infrared hits the receiver on the wristband, the band will behave differently. This technology isn't even that new anymore. It was originally introduced at the Microsoft Kinect launch in June of 2010.
Wow.
But yeah, they can essentially project an image onto the crowd, and the wristbands will interpret what light they're receiving.
That's crazy.
And then turn it into visible light.
That is insane.
It's pretty cool. And I had kind of come to the conclusion. I was just trying to find the projectors. I don't know where they were or what they look like, but that it had to have used something like that, because we weren't like, oh, this is your seat number. Let me find your right wristband for you.
I never would have come to that conclusion. Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
Okay, well, let's jump into the second half of the Eras tour. So last week, we went through everything, the first 19 songs. So that's the first, I can't remember how many eras, but through Speak Now. So we're starting with Red. There was kind of a weird intro to the Red era.
Yeah, this is one part that I was not put off about, but like confused.
I was too, and I was like, I don't love this, but I knew it was Red coming because it was all red. And it reminded me of the Red tour, like the campiness of it. Mm-hmm. That's how the whole Red tour felt, and that's the concert I went to. Oh. So I was like, aw, it's like it's memories. And so I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah. I wasn't mad about it either.
No. So basically what happened is while Taylor went backstage to change out of her great big ball gown from Speak Now,
one of the dancers
came out with a great big box, a great big red box.
Like a stage crate.
Yeah.
I think is what they're called.
Yeah. The one that Taylor, not the one, but like the one that Taylor hid inside of to avoid paparazzi that one time. Yep.
That's a cool story.
Yeah. So anyway, a dancer came out with one of those, and basically this is all like mime work. So she like brings it out and she like presents it, and the audience is kind of confused, but we all cheer. And she goes around it.
What is she dressed like?
She's just wearing the regular costume that all the dancers are going to be wearing.
Okay.
You hear the music before she opens it, and she goes over to it. She's like, "What is this?" And then she opens it, and you can hear it all the way.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Whoa, what is this? Should I open it again?" And then she goes over and opens it again. Another song plays. She slams it shut. Opens it again. Another song plays.
I say that I started Taylor Swift with Red, and then I got on with really got on with 1989. But I don't know the songs by heart, especially after all this time.
I knew
when they were like opening and closing the chest
yeah,
so quickly,
you heard
I was like, what's going
everything on? Has, and that's all you heard.
Yeah.
So like if you know it by heart, then you know the songs. But like if you're a casual fan, you probably didn't catch them all. Anyway, then she spins the box around. It's so anticlimactic. The drums roll and the music is like crescendoing, and she opens it and the lights dim. And that's it.
So yeah, this is probably one of the weaker transitions.
It definitely was.
And yeah, this one was cute. It was funny to a degree.
It was definitely an homage to
Red,
the kitschiness of Red.
But it was not well done, I'd say.
It was weird. But anyway,
we're spending too much time on this transition.
Yeah. We start Red with 22. And Taylor comes out in her classic 22 outfit. But this time the t-shirt, instead of saying "not a lot going on at the moment," says "a lot going on at the moment." And let me tell you, that was enough to break me down.
Seriously?
I was just like...
Because things have changed.
And I think the way that I worded it to my mom when I told her this was... Or maybe it was Jermaine, I can't remember. But when I explained this to someone, I said... Yeah, a lot is going on at the moment.
Meaning like you were at Taylor Swift's concert, there was a lot going on? Or like a lot in the world is happening right now?
A lot in Taylor's career.
Okay, because for me, it was a lot in the world is happening right now.
No. So we'll get to what the shirt is when we get to that music video. Okay. It has a lot of meaning behind it. Anyway, so that was enough
she just wiped her eye. She was crying.
I was not crying. Yeah, I was itchy.
Anyway, so
she comes out in that, and there's crazy flashing red lights. The dancers all come out in just really sparkly red outfits. And it's just a fun song. They're just vibing together as a friend group.
Mm-hmm.
And they just basically like strut together up and down the stage. But then at the very end of the song, they do a kick line, and it's so cute. It's so out of place for this song, but it's cute. It's cute. It's a moment.
Did you not do a kick line? You're not 22 yet, are you? No, you are. You are 22.
God.
Have you not done a 22?
Oh, that was the other thing. There were so many things making me cry about this song. The first thing was a lot going on at the moment, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, there is. The second thing was I saw this song performed on the Red Tour 10 years ago.
When Taylor Swift.
When Taylor Swift was 22 and I was 12 years old. And now I'm 22 years old, and I was like, it's a full circle, and I'm seeing this at 22 years old.
I hope that you felt 22 at this.
I felt
concert.
so 22. It actually hit me like halfway through. I for some reason thought I was 23. And I was like, man, this would be such a good song if I was 22. And then I was like, oh shit.
That's like me. I felt like I was 24 for the majority of the year that I was 23.
I get confused when the year changes because I was born in 2000, so I always know my year my age based on the year. And so as soon as the next year kicks in, I think I'm the next year, and then I'm so confused the whole time.
Yeah.
We go straight from 22 into we are never ever getting back together. But Taylor's people come up behind her and they just rip off her t-shirt.
Which is
It was cool.
It was cool.
And now she's wearing a short, sparkly jumpsuit with like tank top straps, and it's ombre from like a deep red down to black on her shorts. And anyway, this one,
it was a fun song.
Yeah,
it was a blast, and the dancers came out and they were just partying it up with her.
Oh yeah.
Red was such just a fun time.
It was
a
just
party
a lot
the
of
entire
partying.
time.
It was a very friendship based vibe. I mean, except for All Too Well, but like that one's its own thing.
Yeah, and one of my favorite moments in the entire concert is this one coming up in We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, because we talked about how like her dancers are an eclectic group of a whole bunch of different like types of people and body types and probably genders and sexualities and whatnots. And so she does that bit where she's like on the phone and she says, he said like, let's get back together. And
oh my God, I still love you. And I said, we are never getting back together.
And then she takes her microphone and puts it right in the face of one of her guy dancers, who's like very obviously probably gay.
I'm pretty sure he is. I've seen him on TikTok a few times.
Yeah. And he said, like ever.
It was ever.
Like ever.
I don't remember how he said it in our
so,
show, but I love
like,
seeing videos
dripping
of it.
with sass and emotion, and it was so good.
It was iconic.
And it was great that she handed that to somebody else and not herself. It was great.
I know. Like ever. And he slayed it.
He slayed it.
He slayed the moment.
Can I say that? He slayed it?
You can say he slayed it.
Okay, good. We move on to I Knew You Were Trouble.
There wasn't a lot that went on in this one. It was the same vibe of just like having a good time dancing. I mean, it was an amazing number, but like there's not a lot to say because it was just dancing.
Just dancing.
But I did notice the stage was lined with like smoke machines, and so there was a lot of smoke shot.
But
in this
this smoke machine was more of a like a
yeah. It wasn't like a fog.
A jet. It was more like a
right.
very quick thing.
Right. So they shot a bunch of that around the edges of the stage for this number. I don't know if that had been done before this or if it happens after this, but I was just trying to come up with things to say about this one,
Gotcha.
and I was like,
I don't
there's
think,
smoke.
I'm not sure that it was used beforehand. And then
the dancers all leave. Taylor gets her
guitar. She's in a red like cloak.
Yeah,
like
they bring out
robe.
like a sparkly red trench coat for her to put on over her thing.
I thought it was like a robe. It was a trench
It's a
coat.
trench coat.
I didn't know
It's got like the collar and she buttons it. And, anyway, it's like floor length and anyway.
Maybe that's why I thought it was a robe. And she gets a big sparkly red mic and
Yeah. And
a
her
big
mic
red
stands
guitar,
sparkly.
all red.
But she started playing All Too Well, the 10-minute version, which was amazing. It was such a good time to just scream that song with all those Swifties. I've said that so many times, but that is the quintessential Swiftie song. And everyone was just there for it. Anyway,
I thought it was wonderful. It didn't feel like it was 10 minutes long.
no, that's the power of that song, is it doesn't feel.
Yeah.
It's a very well-paced song, and it's got enough going on that you're not like.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. I'm not as familiar with it as you are, but aside from like the chorus, it felt like there was constantly new.
Well, she does
lines,
verse, chorus, and then she does like a first bridge, and then she does I don't remember.
It's one of those things. I like 10-minute long songs as long as they have like progression in them.
It reminds me of Bohemian Rhapsody, where there's just always new things.
Yeah.
When we get to All Too Well, then we can talk about how it's constructed.
So we move on to the next era after she finishes All Too Well.
Yeah, so after she sings All Too Well, the lights go out and she leaves. And we hear her voice, and she is reciting the lyrics to Seven, which I thought I would hate, and I loved it.
The song or the recitation?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Taylor usually has a moment in the show where she recites a poem, and I've always hated it.
Really?
I've always felt like it was cringy,
like pretentious or cringy.
not pretentious, but I just am like, but I don't hate it enough that I'm like against it, but I'm just like, I feel uncomfortable during it.
Yeah.
But I liked this, and maybe it was because I knew Seven and I knew the lyrics, but I didn't like know them until I like heard them spoken. You know what I'm saying? But I enjoyed it. But while that was recited, there were dancers.
Well, the thing that was recited was like what was it? It was like our stories, our songs will be passed down like
it's
folklore.
Lyrics.
I know it's lyrics, but like what is it?
Passed down like folk songs. Our love lasts so long.
Yeah.
But she said it. She said, "Passed down like folk songs. Our love lasts so long," and then that's when like everything happened.
Yeah.
And I really liked it, and there was like lyrical dancers on the stage while that was being recited, and I enjoyed it. It fit. It didn't feel like, and now a poem. Like it fit the vibe. But when she finished, the screen showed a forest, but this time it wasn't like an old forest like Evermore. It was like it was small trees, and it was lighter, and there were fireflies, and it was kind of cutesy. And anyway, the folklore house from the 2021 Grammys, I'm sure it's a different one, but it was constructed the same, inspired by, came out, and
this is actually really cool. So the garage door thing at the back, it only goes up so high. I'm sure it's very tall when you are actually down there, but with the kinds of set pieces that they're bringing in and out, they are bigger than the door, and so the whole house is on either pistons or a jack of some sort, and so the steps that lead up to it collapse. The house descends
I forgot
and
about
hits
that.
down to the ground. and it all rolls out. So like it comes out on the ground and then raises up.
I forgot about that.
On basically on stilts.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And Taylor is on the roof. It's the same as the Grammys where she starts on the roof. The roof is very mossy.
Sorry.
And there's a little entrance from the roof into the house, but the front of the house is open so you can see in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little.
It's very open. It's like it's the idea of a cottage.
Right.
And the chimney had smoke.
I noticed that when I was watching videos today. I hadn't noticed that when we watched it.
I noticed it first thing. It was great.
It was cute. And I do believe you said something about it.
I did.
But I didn't understand what you were saying to me.
The chimney.
I was like, yeah, it has a chimney, chill. But I understand now. Anyway, Taylor's on the house. She's in this really flowy, light pink
like
dress.
A hippie dress is what I interpreted it as.
I wouldn't say hippie, but
I could have sworn she could have been on mushrooms dancing to new wave.
We have such
music.
different.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's because I've seen so many videos and close-up clips of the dress that I know that that's not what it is, but I don't know. Anyway, it's really flowy. It has it's very elegant too, I feel like, and it has what I can only describe as a cape, but it's elegant. It's not
a cape.
A cape.
All right.
She uses it a few times when she sings as like
That's
wings.
why I say she's a hippie.
No,
like
she's
from
not a hippie.
the 70s with all her flowy stuff and long hair.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So she sings Invisible String.
She sings Invisible String, and she's glowing, and it's beautiful. And partway through that song, she sits up and walks down into the house. And then she goes straight into Betty, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. I have the funniest picture of me the first time I listened to it, where I am just crying so hard. I show it to people, and they literally go, "Oh," because I'm like red in the face crying.
Yeah, she does.
But she sings Betty, and she has her guitar at this point. She's standing in the house, playing her guitar and singing this song, and it was magical to hear it. And Daniel got a really cute video of the people in front of us. They all had their arms around each other and they were like swaying back and forth, just like having a good time.
And they were like middle-aged women. And...
yeah, it was really cute. Anyway, she sings from inside the house, and then she eventually comes down the stairs, I believe right before the final chorus. I know it's right before the final chorus.
I believe you're just trying to act cool about it.
No, I know it. I've seen that video so many times.
Yeah.
And she sits down on the staircase, and her backup singers are sitting on the edges of the staircase, and she sings with them, and she's just having the time of her life, and like really vibing with her friends. It's really cute. That song goes straight into The Last Great American Dynasty.
Which I understand why it's the backup singers who were hanging out with her for that one, because everyone else, the dancers, come out in like huge dresses and outfits.
The song is about the history of Holiday House, which is the name of the house that she owns in Rhode Island.
Okay.
And it's about a woman named Rebecca Black and her husband Bill. And so all the dancers come out in ball gowns.
It's like ball gowns and whatnot.
Right.
I don't know if it's... I wouldn't know what time period it would be.
Me
It's
neither.
not Regency, but maybe Victorian?
It's not that late.
It's not that old.
No. 50 years from when Taylor bought it to when Rebecca died. So early 1900s, probably.
Okay.
Anyway, so they all dance, and there's one couple that's prominent in the dance that are portraying Rebecca and Bill.
Is that the blue dress?
The blue dress.
Okay.
And in the first chorus, they go up into the house and dance in there, and then Bill passes away, so Bill leaves, and Rebecca comes back down and dances on the stage, and then the second chorus, she goes back up and dances by herself, still very happily. She's not like mourning or anything, and then she comes back down to dance on the stage again, and Taylor this whole time is on the staircase, and so then when Rebecca goes back up for the final time, Taylor says, and then it was bought by me right as Rebecca passes her, and they stop and they look at each other and they have a moment and they nod. And then Rebecca goes up into the house and Taylor comes down the staircase, so she's on the stage now. And Rebecca dances for a minute in the house, and then she goes up onto the roof where Taylor started. And it's really cute. I really liked it. The next song that happens is August, and Taylor's just chilling on the stage. She's just frolicking, and it doesn't feel choreographed. It's very natural, flowy. She does, and I've seen this in multiple performances, so I think this is a choreographed part. She runs to one side of the stage and like reaches out, and then like
collapses,
and then she runs to the other side of the stage and does the same thing, and it's kind of cute. I like it.
It feels like that cliche weird interpretive dance stuff.
You don't know what the song's about. The song is
the dance move.
The song is a part of a love triangle. So there's a love triangle between a boy named James, Betty, and a girl named Augustine. And so James and Betty were dating, and James cheated on Betty with Augustine. And August is Augustine's song, where she's saying she was in love with him, but he was never hers.
Yeah.
And so she's like longing for him and wanting him to come back, but she knows that she had to lose him because she never owned him. And it's sweet. It's longing, and so that it fit. Anyway, it goes straight into illicit affairs, and it's just the bridge,
which makes a little bit of sense because August is about a love affair, right? Illicit affairs. Wait, so that was just a bridge?
It was just the bridge, because she just sang the "Don't call me kid, don't call me baby," that part. And listen, I'm not saying that all of Folklore sounds the same, but I'm not very good at pinpointing what song is which because I listen to them all in one clump, and so they're all the same to me.
Yeah.
And so it took me until the song ended to figure out what song it was. But she sang the bridge like 4 times, and the screens that were like showing close-ups of Taylor went black and white because she's singing, "You showed me colors, you know I can't see with anyone else." So it's black and white. Anyway, okay. She's like on the stage, like kneeling, kind of like, I don't know, she looks disheveled and clawing at herself.
Rending her clothes and...
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Illicit affairs.
Right. So that was that.
Wait, she sings the... I can't remember this. She sang the bridge 10 times?
Not 10 times. It felt like 10 times.
Oh.
No, she just sang it like twice, maybe 3 times. But there's... In the bridge, she sings, "Don't call me kid, don't call me baby," twice or 3 times.
Oh,
so then it felt like a million times because she sang
Why
the
do you
bridge
think
so
she
many
only
times.
sings the bridge, not a chorus, not the song, not the...
I don't know. I mean, maybe I would say time, but then she just sang that one part a million times. She could have sang the whole song. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe she just wanted to drive that home for some reason.
Then moving on to the next song,
My Tears Ricochet. So we have... I think it kind of went quiet between Illicit Affairs and My Tears Ricochet. Taylor stood or something. I don't really remember. But you hear the ooze, and it gets kind of ominous. I actually thought for a second that she was going to jump back to Evermore and do No Body, No Crime. And that was mostly just my heart wanting that to be the case. But it ended up being My Tears Ricochet, which is a song about a funeral. And so a whole bunch of dancers came out in black funeral attire, and they kind of did like a funeral procession march down the stage. That was pretty much it. The imagery on the screen was like
that I remember this now.
Yeah.
It was
you got really excited about that for some reason.
I just thought it was an interesting concept.
Like,
You were crying over the littlest thing.
I know.
Don't criticize me.
I'm not judging.
I'm
not judging, but I was like, oh yeah. I didn't understand it. It obviously
it was cool.
Hit you.
It was. It wasn't. It didn't touch me.
Okay.
It was just cool.
Right.
That like, hey, look, the the tears are the candle flame. And
Yeah, that's true. There was like a lot of water imagery, and then there was a candle, and then the candle flame was water.
Well, there was it was a close up of Taylor's face, I think, and she cried. There was a tear that ran down, fell off her chin or something, and then that teardrop looked like it. There was a candle with a light with an orange flame, like a flame, and the teardrop flew past and hit the wick, and it extinguished the candle flame.
Right.
And then that same candle, the flame turned into water at that point. Right. And it was cool. It was interesting. Cool. It was interesting.
It was kind of cool. Yeah. So that was My Tears Ricochet. And then Cardigan
finished off the trilogy.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot that went on, but it's her single from the album, so she had to sing it.
Yeah.
But she finishes the song by walking up the stairs to the house, and the lights go out when she's in the house.
Yep. So the house disappears and descends and rolls back.
I'm not sure what the transition here was.
I guess it goes into Midnights.
No, it's 1989.
That's right. I can't recall it.
I don't remember. But they did have these light up LED bikes. Maybe that was the transition.
That's right. They just started riding around for a while. It was really cool.
Daniel was so pumped about it.
I was like, hey, they're riding bicycles.
They were cool.
They were really cool. And the frames of the bikes looked like they were made out of fluorescent tubes. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was cool. They were like glowing blue.
Yeah.
And Style was the song that she started 1989 with.
Is that Harry Styles?
That is the speculation.
Okay.
I've actually seen clips of her dancing to that song, and she's doing this dance move that is like the Harry Styles dance move. And everyone's like, she did it on purpose.
Okay.
I don't know if she did or not.
All right.
Anyway, she's wearing a 2-piece magenta outfit with lots of sparkly jewels hanging off of it.
I'm sure that they took a lot of time to make.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a flapper dress, but not, because it's a 2-piece. It's like a bra and... Was it a skirt? I think it was a skirt. Yeah, but it looked like what she wore on the 1989 tour, but pink. And then she had matching ankle boots to go with it. But yeah,
and
that was...
And, well, what was really cool about this, they came out with the bikes, and there were a whole bunch of them. There were like 6 or so bikes that were, riding around the stage in circles and whatnot. Like those, have you seen those videos of synchronized motorcycle riding?
Yeah.
It was not nearly as impressive as that, but it was cool.
It was cool. It was choreographed.
It was choreographed. And then so we've mentioned that the stage in the center stage can rise up. They were on scissor lifts, but separate parts of it could. Well, there were 3 pillars that rose up with gaps in the middle, and so then they would ride their bikes between all the gaps and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which honestly was pretty dangerous, because there were I mean,
there were a lot of them.
There were a lot of them, but also the scissor lift, it's you could fall into it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's not good.
Right.
Yeah, not good at all.
No, yeah.
So, but yeah, it was really cool.
It was cool.
And then they ditched the bikes onto one platform that went down into the stage. And they took them off.
I'm surprised you remember that. I remember basically nothing from that song. I think I was jamming so hard during 1989.
I don't remember the song. I remember the bikes.
I don't remember them. I was jamming so hard during this era that I remember very little. I just was dancing.
There were other things that came out, like I remember they were the glow up golf clubs.
Oh,
that came out for Blank Space.
Yeah, so Blank Space is the next song. And Taylor is singing whatever. I don't know what she does in the beginning, but at some point she steps onto the middle platform and it lifts her up. And the screens.
So these platforms that rise up, on the front of them, there are more LED screens.
Yeah, so the screen on the platform that she was on is showing the boxes from Look What You Made Me Do again.
Was it?
Yeah. And except for this time, it's only 1989 era Taylor's that are inside of these boxes, and they're singing along with her. They're not like trapped in the boxes.
Oh.
They're like part of the experience.
Okay.
But they're singing along with her. And so they're all singing Blank Space, and the stage is getting taller, shorter, taller, shorter, taller, shorter. And eventually, all the platforms on the stage, in the center of the stage, rise up, and the screen shows a car.
A specific model of a car.
Really?
It's the same one as in the music video.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
I could not tell you what the model is. I think it might be a Porsche or something. I don't know.
I'm impressed that you know that.
Or a Mercedes, not a Mercedes Benz. What's the car that James Bond drives? An Aston Martin.
There you go. Wow, I'm impressed that you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a car.
I told you I liked 1989.
I didn't doubt it, but wow, I didn't know that you knew the car.
It was an iconic car.
It was a nice car.
Yeah. Anyways,
but yeah, they
in the
bring
music
out,
video they break it up.
Yeah, so they bring out light up golf clubs that match the bikes, and she's on top and she hits the car, and the image of the car on the screen.
So all of her backup dancers are have these golf clubs, and they wind up and they hit it on a specific beat, and then the image of the car changes.
Right, so it looks like they're actually like beating it up, and Taylor's on top, so she's like beating
stomping
it from
on it or something.
The top. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was really well done, and they were dancers on the back beating up the other side of the car.
Oh, is there another side of the car as well?
Yeah.
I couldn't see it.
I've seen videos of it. That's the only reason I know.
Probably for all those people who are stuck on the side of the stage.
Yeah, haha. Sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck.
Anyway.
Sorry. I would not want to pay those tickets.
No, they beat up the car. And then Shake It Off happens, and this was probably
just a party.
One of my favorite parts of the concert. Not because anything crazy happened, but because I danced my ass off.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was on my songs I'll go batshit for, but I went batshit.
I don't think it was. Well, maybe it was. I don't know.
I don't know.
You didn't really share that list with me quite as much as you shared the ones that you'll cry at.
I'm gonna look.
But yeah, no, we were dancing.
It was super fun. I danced so hard. I actually got sore in my sides because I was shaking so hard.
Wow.
I was shaking my booty.
The booty.
Songs I'll go batshit for: Mr. Perfectly Fine, Shake It Off, Karma, You Belong With Me, Love Story, Antihero, Long Story Short, and Paris. Anyway, Shake It Off was amazing, fun, phenomenal.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I mean, that's a reason that Shake It Off was literally everywhere for many years.
For a long time.
It still is.
For a long time, I was like, ugh, Shake It Off. That one's so cliche.
I wouldn't say cliche. It's just overdone.
It's overdone. But lately, I've just been like, so what? It's so fun. You know what? I think your opinion of me has changed the way that I look at a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Because I think I've just taken on the Swiftie perspective where everyone hates Shake It Off, so I hate it too. But then I'm like, no, this song is so fun and I love it. And so I've gotten a lot better about that.
Enjoy art.
Exactly. Thank you. Art. I have a whole thing about that, but we won't get into it.
So after Shake It Off, oh wait, no, there's one specific part in Shake It Off that I really, really liked.
Yeah?
It's so one of her other dancers, one of the other guys, he had long hair, and at one of the parts where like it gets quiet and she says shake, shake, shake. Right? I don't remember. That part. She points at him, and they're all at the far end of the stage, and he throws his hair down, and on shake he does a full whip of his hair. So every shake, whip, shake, whip, shake, whip.
That's insane.
It was great. It was phenomenal.
I love that. I missed a lot of what was happening because I was dancing too hard. But that's so incredible.
It's so great, and I love that. I think those might be the parts of the concert that made me feel like I could not respect, but like Taylor as Taylor Swift, not as an artist, but as Taylor Swift,
as a human being,
because of the way that she could have fun with her dancers.
The next song was Wildest Dreams. It was just a section of it. And the screen here was showing a lot of cinematic imagery.
Yeah. It was a lot of yeah.
Yeah.
That was not me being gross. No, there was like Taylor like writhing around on some bed sheets. And
She wasn't writhing. She was curled up in them, and then you saw her hand like grip them.
which is like very
Inherently sexual,
inherently
for sure.
sexual.
but like you see, so
She's
the
not.
first thing,
It's not a porno. On
no,
the
the first
screen,
thing you
but-
see is a hand gripping sheets,
Yeah.
and then the song goes almost all the way through before you see that it's Taylor,
Yeah.
and she's just laying in bed.
And
And
seemingly asleep.
at one point, you see her hand intertwined with, what looks to be a man's hand. It's a black hand, black person's hand. It looks like a man's hand.
Is it Laith Ashley?
I hope so. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. The sheets burn at the end of the song.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that significant? Okay.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we go into Bad Blood, which there was a lot of fire imagery in Bad Blood.
That's true.
So
Bad Blood was a fun song.
Right. They repeat the bridge of Wildest Dreams, I think,
It
twice.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but they repeat it, and it kind of like gets slowed, and then we hear the Bad Blood music.
This was a blast.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. They had red strobe lights and red lasers. They had fire. So they brought the Lover House back on the screen, but this time there wasn't like color to it. It was
just the wood of it all.
The shell.
The shell of it.
And it was on fire with blue flames, which later became like full on like just red. Like
Yeah.
it was just on fire.
It was a gas stove, and then it went up in flames.
Right.
And then not only did the screen show flames, but we felt them.
So my 6-year-old brother's favorite song is Bad Blood, like of all time. He's not a Taylor Swift fan, but he loves Bad Blood.
Yeah.
So when this song started, I was frantic to get Daniel to start recording, and I would not have had you record this otherwise. But I am so glad. Thank you, Canon, for loving this song, because Daniel's recording this song, and so there were little like fire shooters.
Not little.
Well, there were little ones up by Taylor, and then there were 4 on each corner of the
On the huge like light trees that were
Right.
holding all the lights out in the
there were huge ones,
field.
and so they shot up, and they were like almost eye level with us.
Yeah.
We were like in the nosebleeds,
Nosebleeds.
and they were like, we could feel the heat.
Almost immediately.
Yeah.
It was something that I was not prepared for and had not experienced before. That kind of
Yeah.
like sudden heat. Like I've been to bonfires
Right.
and but it was just not quite as noticeable.
Right.
Like okay.
Anyway.
Anywho, so
I
that
have-
happened all over the place.
I have the funniest video.
I thought you were gonna swear.
No, it is the funniest video. So Daniel's recording, and he's just, he's a little cinematographer. So the whole time he's like zooming in and out, he's focusing, he's finding the interesting things.
Yeah.
And as the fire starts, I can't even do it. You screamed. And you zoomed out to show the fire, and you just kept going, whoa! You go, I can feel it.
It's so hot.
It was so funny.
It was impressive.
It
I
was
liked
amazing. I watch that video at least once a day because it makes me laugh.
Anywho.
But after the Bad Blood,
Bah.
black, everything goes dark. Taylor's gone, and she
Walks out to the front.
walks out to the front, which is this is like her B stage moment. This is where normally she would have gone to a B stage, but because the stage is so big here,
She just goes to the middle of the field.
right, which is the very, very front of the stage.
I dare say it's the equivalent of a B stage because she rarely goes out there.
Right. So she goes down there, and she's now wearing, they've put just a dress over what she was wearing, so you can still kind of see it when she moves certain ways, but like what she was wearing underneath, but she's wearing like a flowy high-low maroon dress with a slit up the leg. There's shoulder cutouts, and it's really pretty. And she's got her guitar with her. And she comes to the front of the stage and she tells everyone that she thought it would be a really fun idea if every night at every performance she just sang whatever she was feeling that night. And
For in this section here.
yeah. And so she, I believe every night she's sang one guitar song and one piano song, which I love. And so she's talking about this and whatever, and we have no idea what the song is gonna be. And we are so lucky, Daniel. We're blessed. We got a debut song. Not everyone had a debut song.
So we got a taste of every
We
single
got a taste of every single era. This was the only debut song that she sang. And guess what? This was the first Taylor Swift song I ever heard. And I heard it because I was in a children's choir. We did a Taylor Swift medley, and I had a solo. And this song was my solo.
Oh, that's cute.
And so when she started it, I cried a little bit. I don't think I cried hard, but I cried a little bit.
And is this where our namesake is from?
No.
Oh.
That is Death
it's
by a
called Our
Thousand
Song.
Cuts. She sings, "Our songs, our films, united we stand." But she did perform that one a week or so after we went to the concert.
Okay, never mind.
And she messed up and she had to sing it again.
Oops.
It was really cute. Anyway, so she sang Our Song, which has always been a favorite of mine, maybe just because it's my first introduction to her, but I loved it. And then she went to the piano and, well, first of all, I just have to say, on the way to the concert, I said to Daniel, I will be happy no matter what she sings, but there are two songs that I do not want her to sing. And they are Coney Island and Snow on the Beach. I don't know why. I really don't like those songs. They make me angry.
Wow.
Maybe just because I'm a brat.
And you can't let someone
Enjoy something that I
something
hate.
that you hate. Or
Exactly. Taylor goes to the piano, she sits down, and she says, someone I've collaborated with recently is Lana Del Rey, and she's talking about her new album and stuff.
And she says specifically, I'm going to mention this. I'm not doing guests on this.
There is no one here. No one is going to come out. Please don't get the wrong idea, because she didn't want the crowd to go insane. Because we would have.
Yeah.
We would have gone insane. Yeah, so she's talking about Lana Del Rey. And I knew what song it was, and I was like, this is karma. God heard me say that I didn't want Snow on the Beach, and he said, take that. Anyway.
That's the thing that God cares about. Is
right. Karma.
It is that you didn't want to listen to this one song of Taylor's.
I will say I very much enjoyed it when it was on the piano and acoustic, and I wish it was like that every time. I don't like the production of it, but anyway, it doesn't matter. She sang it. It was really pretty, and the piano was pretty. It had flowers painted on it, and then she stood up and she walked to the middle of the stage, the middle of the what we're calling the B stage, and she dived. So the floor looks like it's water, and a trapdoor opens up. We could see this all because we were up high,
and it's very obvious the trapdoor was there.
And she dived, and
as though she were jumping into a swimming pool. And
I just have to say, leading up to the concert, I didn't have social media because I didn't want any spoilers. And then that night, we went to the hotel and I downloaded Twitter because I had a lot to say about the concert. And the first tweet I saw was Maddie, and she said, "The dive will never not be funny." And I was like, what are you talking about? It was so well done. But I've seen so many videos from so many angles, and it looks awful.
Really?
We just had a really good angle.
Does it just look like she does like a belly flop or something?
It looks really bad.
I was thinking it might look awkward. Well, because there's got to be like a pad for her to land on down there. But if she were to swan dive, she would hit it head first.
Right.
And that's not comfy, no matter how cushioned it is. So yeah,
it was. I was like, wow, that was inspired. But I think it's kind of silly.
I can definitely see it looking like a like a kid who doesn't know how to swan dive yet, jumping into a swimming pool.
Yeah. But yeah, she dives into it, and then the screen shows her swimming all the way up
to the garage door.
And then as she hits the top of the stage, the back screen has like a wave of water that goes up it, and as it comes down, it reveals on the screen a ladder leading up to a cloud, and Taylor's standing in front of the ladder, and she starts to climb the ladder, and the ladder like up into the cloud. That's my best description.
And that was all digital.
That's all digital. Yeah. And then the cloud floats away. And her dancers come out and surround the center stage. And each of them have like a physical ladder with a cloud attached to the top.
It's on rollers and it goes around.
Right. And so they bring those out to the center stage, and
they were artistic. They looked interesting.
Yeah. They felt kind of pointless to me, but they looked cool, so I wasn't mad about it.
Neat.
Right. But then you hear "Meet me at midnight," and Taylor appears from the floor.
Whoa.
Which was really fun. She's wearing a sparkly t-shirt dress, which, do you remember what color it was our night? Because I couldn't find it online and I didn't remember.
I think it was dark blue.
Okay. Wait,
t-shirt
dress?
What are you talking about?
She's wearing like a t-shirt dress and with like the lavender haze coat on top.
Oh, I think it might have been white.
Okay.
White, yes, white, because I thought it was going to be used for Bejeweled.
Okay, yeah. So she had a white t-shirt dress, white. I think up close it's like white with pink on it, but it doesn't matter. And then she has the lavender coat, the fur coat from the music video, and then she has sparkly dark boots. I couldn't tell if they were dark blue or black, but
who knows?
It doesn't matter. The screen is showing lots of imagery of lavender lighted things. So we see Taylor being lit by a window, but the blinds are like partially closed, and it's all in like a lavender hue. And then we see her like lying on a lavender shag carpet.
Yeah.
And I actually said to Daniel, I liked a lot of that imagery better than I liked the music video. Not on their own, but I just liked the cohesiveness and the colors of it. The colors. You know how that was my biggest gripe with Lavender Haze? Was the colors. I wanted more purple. Those are the purples I wanted.
I didn't see much purple.
I saw so much purple. I watched it again today and I was like, yes.
You'll have to show it to me.
Yeah, there was a lot of really cool imagery on the screen for this one, and they just danced, I believe. I don't know that there was a lot of noteworthy movement in this one.
So you said that you liked this imagery more than the music video, and you said that to me at the concert, and I was actually kind of surprised and confused because I didn't. I thought it was a departure from the music video in a way that didn't necessarily make it better. Because I don't know, it was just blinds, and she's looking through some blinds, and then there were a lot of ladders. And I did not see the connection between the song and ladders. I don't know. I liked the music video a lot, and
I liked the music video a lot too, but
it didn't seem like it made it any better.
The background imagery was what I craved from the music video. I'm not saying that the music video was bad or that I didn't like it, just that when in that first episode, if you hear me complaining about the colors or anything like that, the colors from these images are I want.
I'd like you to show me.
Okay.
Antihero.
Antihero's next. She takes off her coat. On the screen, we see Giant Taylor from the Antihero music video walking through a tiny city. And at first, she's just trying to not hurt things, but she's big, and so she's having a hard time. And she sits down kind of like, ugh, I can't do it, at the bridge. And then in the last chorus, she gets up and just throws a tantrum, and she's kicking things and stomping and throwing things and just destroys everything. And I kind of liked it. It was funny.
After Antihero, we came to Midnight Rain. She changes her clothes at this point, right?
Yeah, well, so not at the beginning of the song. So the platform gets in the middle of the stage, gets higher, and she's up on it. She sings for a minute, and there are dancers in all black with black umbrellas dancing around her.
Yeah.
And then they all come right in front of the platform, and she jumps off behind their umbrellas, and they move, and now she's in a leotard. So
It must have been a pull away or something.
well, she's
Or
just
tear
wearing
away.
a t-shirt dress, and then underneath is a leotard.
Oh.
So she just,
Takes it off. Okay.
or maybe tears it away. Who
I
knows?
thought a t-shirt dress. I thought it was more of a dress.
It was a t-shirt dress. It was supposed to be, I'm imagining, reminiscent of the t-shirt that she wears in the Lavender Haze music video, where she's just like in her underwear and a t-shirt.
Okay. And not to mention, every single one of these outfits is absolutely saturated in glitter and sparkles and
I've also
and
heard
crystals.
that she had to wear like 3 or 4 pairs of tights because she wanted her leg, or maybe she didn't want to, but her legs shine when she wears multiple pairs. So
Yeah.
she wore like 3 or 4 pairs of tights so that her
It's gotta
legs
get hot.
shone. And then she also had like a really subtle tan fishnet over those. So that's cool. But yeah, so she comes out from behind the umbrellas, and now she's in a, was it dark blue or night?
It was dark blue.
Dark blue leotard, just covered in sparkles.
Absolutely
And not
covered.
sparkles, but like jewels.
Like jewels.
And not like oh, I bedazzled my shoes, but like jewels.
Actual crystals.
Yeah. And she's got a
I
garter.
think it's glass. I'm not sure if
Probably.
it's... I don't think it's jewels.
Probably.
But...
and she's got a garter on, and her boots match. And I think this costume is the most representative of the word midnight that I've ever seen.
yeah.
It was like stunning. Anyway,
It is representative of comfortable midnight. It's not scary.
Right.
Yeah, it is. If it's midnight and it's Halloween, that's a very different kind of dress. But like the idea of
Right.
this is a night out. It's midnight and
Right.
and we're having the time of our lives. This
Exactly.
is what this dress is.
yeah. So yeah, she sings Midnight Rain. Not a lot happens. And then vigilante shit. And
Oh, get that T in there.
shit. This song, it's going viral. It's going viral right now.
Yeah?
So I'm sure if you've been on the internet and you see anything about Taylor, it is this song. It is, I don't know if it's inspired by, but it is, in my opinion, Chicago the musical inspired.
Well, that is fitting because people have in review of the tour, people have been saying that this is very much akin to Broadway. The entire concert is with all these different acts and the
Right.
production value and the just the demonstration of it all. And so
Definitely.
it makes sense that one of her songs would be just like not a ripoff, but like an homage to Chicago.
Right. So basically, if you haven't seen this, what are you doing? How
Or
have
the-
you not
or the
seen
musical.
this? Basically, she sings her first little bit, and she's being very sensual, very like she'll move really smooth and slow, and then she'll snap into something, and then she walks back to center stage where all her dancers have set up chairs, and they do some chair work, and the kind of iconic 2 bits that everyone is sharing right now are she like squats over the chair and really slowly starts to squat to sit down in it, and then snap sits. And so it's like slow snap, and it's kind of sexy. And then the other part, she puts her leg up on the chair and then does like a body
Ooh.
roll. It's it's really well done. And even if you, it's not even like an attraction thing for me. I'm just like, oh my gosh, she is hot. Like, she's so good looking, and she's just like slaying. But I'm sure other people.
You know what?
are
I'll
like,
say it. Also, it's an attraction thing for me. So,
I don't blame you. like if that's your thing, go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, it's a very, very, very well done song.
I might, you can call me brave for saying that. It's
Oh my god. But I love it, and I love it too because now that it's going viral, it's giving this song the attention it deserves. It was a really well done song. And then we go straight into Happy Fun Bejeweled, which is actually my alarm for the morning.
wow.
Bejeweled.
Nice.
Anyway, Bejeweled was fun. It was just dancing. She did do the TikTok shimmer, if anyone was wondering, the little finger shimmer thing in front of her. I can still make the whole place shimmer.
Is that a thing that TikTokers have made a canon thing?
Well, yeah. So they were all doing it after the music video came out.
Mm-hmm.
It went viral on TikTok, and someone made that dance up, and so then everyone was doing it.
Of course.
And then she did it, and it was cute.
TikTok is a whole bunch of monkeys seeing and monkeys doing.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll say initially when I listened to Bejeweled for the first time,
yeah,
I thought that the nice bit was annoying. But now on subsequent listens to the song, I think it's just fun.
I agree. I feel the exact same way. And part of that is because at the concert, what happens is a dancer, I believe it might switch every night, but I'm not sure. Our night, it was the same guy that does Like Ever. Mm-hmm. He had a little dance solo, and I think they just improv a little dance solo there, and all the dancers and Taylor stand just like the whole time they dance, and then they all go nice. And it's so cute. It's such a cute moment. It's so pure, and ever since then I've been like, that's the cutest little thing, and I love it. And then we go into Mastermind, and the only real notable things from this one that I could really grasp were the floor turned into a chessboard.
But it was like a weird chessboard that was stretching. And
it was
everything.
very Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
It was circular, it was stretching, it was spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, her dancers come out and stand on
squares,
and she points at them and they'll move.
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
I didn't either, but I watched it today.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I didn't notice it until I watched it today, and I only caught it because only one dancer moved, and I was like, oh, they messed up. And then she turns around and points the other way at the other side, and they move, and then she turns back. Ooh. So she's playing against herself.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, that was pretty much the only notable thing for Mastermind. And then our finale song, which I think is the best finale song she could have had, considering her set list. Mm-hmm. Karma, which has become one of my all-time favorites. I believe it's in my top 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
But she puts on a purple shiny, for lack of a better word, coat. It's like it reflects like foil.
Yeah.
But it's like the shape of a fur coat. But she puts that on, and then all her dancers come out in the same coat in various colors. It looks so fun. But she just has the funnest time dancing it out to this song with all her friends. And there's the cutest dance here, and I've seen so many videos of it, and it's going viral on TikTok, and I love this dance, and I can't not do it now when I'm dancing to this song.
What is the dance?
It's a step ball change, and then just you touch your foot, and then you ball change, touch your foot, just as you're going down the little catwalk.
Okay.
It's really cute.
Oh, and they kind of used this as a curtain call of sorts, right?
Right. Yeah, so the band comes down, the singers come down, the dancers come down, and they're all waving, and they're all saying goodbye, and then as she finishes the song, the music keeps going, and she
gives some like verbal shout outs to
Yeah.
people and
Right.
things.
And then and as the song is finishing and she's doing all that, there are sparks that are shot up into the air. They're basically like mini fireworks.
It was those specifically were a little underwhelming.
I didn't think so.
They were, because they felt disjointed from each other. Like it didn't feel like they came on a beat. They didn't feel like they came with a particular part of the song.
Oh, yeah,
It just felt like
that's
it was
true.
like a and then
Right,
it was done,
but there was a lot
and
going
then
on there. The
waiting
lights
later,
were going
like a
crazy. The music was going nuts. The sparks were going. So I don't think there was really a rhyme.
Are you
or
talking about the
reason
very,
to it.
very, very end?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Because it went crazy.
It was just like.
Yeah.
My only I was sad that she didn't do 3 songs, specifically one because I really thought she was going to do it, and it was "You're on Your Own, Kid," which is my number 1 song right now. And the lights come up, and what do you know? "You're on Your Own, Kid" starts playing.
But it's just a recording.
It's just a recording, but I was like, how fitting for that to be our goodbye song, and then. I don't know if you said it or if I thought it or if I said it, but I was like, somehow it came up that it probably was just the album on shuffle, but then they accidentally skipped
forward
halfway through the song and played a little bit of the next song, and then they jumped back. And I was like, no, they were supposed to play that song for us to leave to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oops.
Anyway, that is the Eras tour.
lifetime.
Let's really quickly go through our grades.
So very quick. I think this is gonna go quick though.
Yeah, because I don't have a lot to say.
So going
I've
back
said
to our
everything.
personal perception, we both had a 10, right?
I had a 10.
All right, 10. All right. So because this is not a music video and with one song, we're gonna kind of like, just kind of judge all of it together. We're not gonna get into the nitty gritty because it's 3 hours long.
Right.
And this podcast might be 3 hours long as well.
It'll be a doozy.
That's insane. We have talked about her tour for as long as she performed it.
Longer.
Longer?
Because this is a 2-part episode.
And we've been cutting this down.
Yeah.
What you get on your podcast listening device
is about half of what we say.
Yeah.
I
ridiculous.
cut so much out.
Yeah, we're getting better at this. We're still new. Anyways, for song, and this is essentially all
the songs.
All the songs. Complexity and intelligence of songwriting.
I gave it 10.
I gave it a 10.
Okay.
Performance.
10.
10.
Expression, I give it 10.
10. Lyricism.
10.
10. And message.
10.
10. All right.
Wow, 10s across the board.
across
Why
the
are we
board.
here?
What? We could have just done this. All right. Going on to quote unquote video. This is going to be just basically the whole production of the rest of the concert.
Yeah.
So for cinematography, I'm thinking about this mostly as because there were the big screens of the cameras and whatnot.
Right.
There were a couple different types of screens. There was the back wall. Like where the garage door was, and there were usually some more things going on back there than just a camera on Taylor.
Right.
But then there were some other screens, big ones at the back, or I guess the front of the stadium, and then the sides of the stage that just were a camera on.
Right, like if you were watching a recording of the performance.
Yeah,
that's what you would see.
And for those ones, those were mostly just like stadium shot angles of things, nothing too special. But for the back wall, there was some really interesting animations that went on back there.
Right.
So I gave it a 10.
I also gave it a 10.
As for color for the whole thing, blew me away. So I gave it a 10.
I also gave it a 10.
Editing. This one's a little weird.
I've mostly been looking at this one as the editing of what we saw on the screens that were part of the concert.
Like sometimes they wouldn't show Taylor, sometimes they'd show something else instead.
Right.
I gave it a 10.
I gave it a
because
10.
It was
Well, and I also think about like moments where like she's swimming underwater. That was really well done. Or the moment where they're beating up the car and they had to edit the car to break at those exact moments. And obviously it had to be choreographed too, but that editing was well done so that it worked. So I gave it a 10.
Costume, I would have given it higher than a 10. But,
Same.
But
We are
we only allow
restricted.
for 10.
Someone told us we could only do 10.
I don't know who that is.
Rude.
Scenic design. So with scenic design, obviously the set, but we've also said that it includes all special and practical effects. And so that includes all our sparklers, all our flame balls, all our
Flame balls.
fireballs.
When they threw fire at us.
Yep. And as well as all of the I'm going to call it projections, but it's all the digital
Right.
spaces on the stage and the back wall. This is a straight 10.
Oh, absolutely.
This is much higher than a
1,000.
10 for me.
Same.
10. Performance 10.
10.
Those dancers just had the time of their life. Even the singers were everyone had such character and they felt like people.
Right. They were in character when they needed to be, and when they weren't in character, they had characters of their own.
Yeah.
That were really, like, apparently genuine.
Yeah. Direction
10.
10.
It was inspired.
All
Every
right,
bit of it.
So that's a perfect 130 out of 130 for both of us.
First time ever.
And then let's go to Afterglow points.
We each get the personal perception bonus, so that's 2 points. For callbacks...
Because our personal perception was a full 10. It was
right.
Yeah.
For callbacks, I gave this 3 points.
I gave it 3 points as well. I wonder what your callback was.
I was going through this so fast because I didn't do it until right before we recorded, so I just did the first thing that came to mind, which was the Look What You Made Me Do mountain of Taylor's, where they're all clawing to the top.
I chose the t-shirt from 22.
Yeah. Play points. Do you want to go first?
Sure. I gave 3 points to to the play points. 1 point for the costumes, 1 point for the effects, and 1 point for the crowd.
That's great.
Yeah.
I gave 1 point for the heart hands. That really touched me in a place I didn't know I could be touched.
Speak Now?
At the end of Fearless.
Fearless, that's right.
I gave 1 point for her clear vocals without missing a note, because that is hard considering she's singing for 3 hours. She's not just singing, she's dancing, she's running, she's changing, she's, doing all this. And she's going to be doing this for so many nights.
She's doing this for at least half a year, and then...
more.
And then the international.
Right. So it was so impressive that she did not miss a single beat, a single note, whatever. So point for that. And then I gave 1 point to The Perfect Night for showing up exactly when the concert started. For, in my opinion, what were the perfect seats for the perfect, both nostalgic and Karma's a Bitch surprise songs. The perfect date, the perfect music, and literally the best night of my life.
That's great. The last question. How well does the concert benefit her songs?
I gave it a 2.
I gave it a 2 as well. Because, and this is what I wrote down. Being in that crowd made me tear up multiple times. The concert definitely benefited those songs.
The songs that I normally would not scoff at, but maybe skip or not care about, I now have a huge appreciation for and love them in a new way. Yeah.
Anywho, so that means that for the Eras tour, we give a literal perfect score.
Not just for one of us, but for both of us. I'm like sad. I feel like this is the end of, forgive my verbiage, but the end of an era. Like, my heart is sad. Let's go on to our suggestions. I'll go first.
Okay.
My song suggestion is, it's called Witch, but it's WITCH, each one, like
W period. I
like
period.
like an acronym. And it's by Devin Cole. Witch is an acronym for Woman in Total Control of Herself. And I'm obsessed with that. I love it. And it's a bop too. But I love this quote by the writer, the singer. They say, the witch as a symbol of women's resistance celebrates women's strength, autonomy, and rebellion. And then she goes on to talk about how this song is that it's using witch as a female empowerment, and I love it. So that's my song. And for my film, I was going to suggest this last time and I could not remember the name of it, but I found it. It is called Hello, My Name is Doris. This is a rated R film, so be careful.
But you're listening to an explicit rated
right. So
podcast.
Chances are you don't care.
Yeah.
Hello, My Name is Doris. It's featuring Sally Field and Max Greenfield. And it's about a 60-something-year-old woman who falls in love with her young coworker. She falls for him, and it's so quirky and cute, and I don't know. They become best friends, and it's really funny. It's quirky. It's heartfelt and tender at moments, and it's like coming of age almost, but without it feeling cheesy or cliche. But I really enjoyed it.
So for my suggestions this week, my song, it's a song called I Wish That I Could Wear Hats by Brian David Gilbert, a phenomenal comedian, phenomenal creator. But this is a short and piercing song about feeling unable to express yourself without feeling like you're donning a disguise. My film, it's a TV show that I have come to really like because it's very funny. It's called Barbie Life in the Dream House.
I knew it. You were looking at me like that, and I was like, I'm either gonna be so scared by what you say, or it's gonna be Barbie Life in the Dream House.
So this is from 2012. It's this canceled series that made hilarious little short episodes.
Canceled like they ended it, not like the internet decided to cancel it.
So part of the fun of this show, and Katie was the one who actually introduced me to this. Part of the fun of this show is that the characters are all, they are dolls. They are actual Barbie dolls.
It's hilarious.
It's very funny, very fast paced.
I've literally never met anyone who doesn't like it. Like my brothers, who are like the most like, oh, that's a girl thing ever. They love Barbie Life in the Dream House.
Yeah, that's my song and film this week.
That's awesome.
There's something that we want to announce before we sign off this week.
I'm dying.
We're dying, but I'm dying from work. I work Graves, and it's a lot to handle with, especially this job.
And I'm just dying in general.
And so Katie's been editing our episodes. I tried to, but I just did not have the time in my day, and I apologize for that. But the time commitment for this, it's a hobby of ours, and we want to have fun doing this. So we're gonna shift our schedule from a weekly release to a bi-weekly, and that does not mean twice a week.
Right, every other week. I actually looked up, does bi-weekly mean twice a week? And it was both. And I said, both. How confusing.
It's so dumb. It should be semi-weekly for twice a week, and then bi-weekly for once every 2 weeks. So after this episode, we'll be continually taking a week of break so that we can, spread out our production pipeline.
That gives you guys the chance to listen to the episode multiple times, to share it with your friends and family, and to watch the music videos that we're talking about. And let us know what you think about them. Give us your ratings.
Anywho, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode.
Next time, we'll be taking a look at the music video for ours, so be sure to check that out.
If you love listening to our show, please leave a rating or review on whatever platform you're listening on to help our show be seen by more people.
You can find our scores for every music video we've discussed on our website listed in the description of this episode, and you can follow us at OSOF Podcast on all social media platforms.
Thanks again for listening. I'm Daniel Francis.
And I'm Katie Ludlow, and this has been Our Songs,
Our Films.